Welcome live to the Edward Fowler Show here on this Friday. It is May 7th here on this lovely day here in Manchester. I hope it's the same where my guest is today in South Dakota. We're going to go live there now via Skype, of course, to my guest today, Eugene Nick Dinsmore. I don't want to get into any copyright laws, but how are you doing today in South Dakota?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you in Manchester?
Yes, good on Manchester. Yes, I'm doing very well. You've been there many times over your luxurious career. We had on Eric Bischoff on 2 months ago, and he said that when he comes to Manchester, he likes to go to a local pub to get the feel for the culture here in Manchester. We had on Terry Runnels. I don't know if you have met her or anything like that. I know you guys kind of missed pass when she came in WWE and kind of thing when she led WWE when you came in. She likes to go shopping when she comes to the UK. When you come to the UK, what do you do in good old Manchester and such?
I like to eat some of the food. I want to have some faggots and peas.
Nice choice. Nice choice. Nice choice. Do you get to go sightseeing if you have time?
When I traveled with WWE, there wasn't a whole lot of time to do sightseeing, but I've been over several times on the independent scene, yes. And I've had a lot of time, and I've got to see a lot of things. It's pretty cool.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad you got the chance to take in the our culture and some of our best places we have to offer when you were able to do so on the independents. Hopefully, it wasn't waning, however, in your time here, because we do get a lot of rain, as you know, probably.
No, actually, I got to bring my wife over
nice.
On one particular trip, and we got to tour around London, and it was no rain. It was beautiful. Sun was out. I was so scared when I was on the eye. When I got to the top, I froze in the middle. I was so afraid of heights, scared.
Yeah.
And there were kids with their face against the glass, like, "Look, Mom, you can see all the way down." And I'm just scared to death.
Yeah, I be like that as well. Believe me, I'm not very good with heights as well, but. I'm glad you had a good time with your wife, and I do hope you get to come back to the UK and to be a part of, another independence again in the future when restrictions end in both our countries, because it'd be great to have you back in the UK. I'm sure the fans will love to see you once again. I hope you get to perform in Manchester if you decide to come back over.
I hope so too. I can't wait. If there's some promoter there in the UK that wants to bring Eugene over, I'm ready to go.
There we go. He's ready to go. He's roaring to go, which is great to see. So when you, you're one of the first characters I vividly remember debuting onto Monday Night Raw, because at the time, this was showing my age. I was around 4 or 5 years old when you first came onto the scene. So I remember when you first came into WWE, when William Regal, I think he brought you in and introduced you to the world, or it was Eric Bischoff, one or the other, as Eugene. I was like, my instant reaction was like, Eugene? That's an interesting, unique name. And I remember, some of your favorite moments. I know when you guest hosted as the general manager of the night with musical chairs. I remember that very, very well. Very funny sketch, by the way. I remember when you also cut off Eric Bischoff's hair, and as well won Kurt Angle's medal. So, you had some fantastic moments, including as well, can't mention the fact that you got to team with The Rock as well, didn't you? Or had an opportunity to be in the ring with The Rock.
Yes, I was in the ring with The Rock. I was in the ring with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I also pinned Vince McMahon.
Yeah. There you go. A lot of great moments from your career. I mean, apart from...
And I also got an action figure. You see my action figure?
Let's have a look. There you go. See on the big screen there. Oh, yes. Very cool.
You know the best part about having your own action figure?
Go on.
You get to play with yourself in public.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. That is great fun. Because I bet, when you debuted, of course, you debuted in the best time, I think, in the after the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, where there was lots, still it was very big. Lots of people tuned in. Were you quite nervous when you got the call up to debut for a while? Because I know you were in OVW at the time, because OVW, you were wrestling there before WWE bought OVW, not bought them, but came into some kind of arrangement where they will sign certain people for their developmental to someday debut for WWE.
Yeah, I was. I think WWE partnered with Ohio Valley Wrestling in late '98 or early '99.
Okay.
I was hired to a developmental contract in December of 1999.
Wow, the year I was born. The year I was born. Crikey.
All the talent that they sent there, Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Victoria, Shelton Benjamin, that was kind of like the first crew.
That's right.
I knew all these guys. I helped train them. I was in the ring with them, had matches with them. So when I got called up, I wasn't necessarily nervous because I knew everybody. Yeah. Plus, I've been wrestling for almost 10 years. So, I mean, I really knew the craft, and it was just a matter of getting out there and getting over with the crowd.
And you certainly did so, because obviously the higher ups and whoever decided to make that final call to bring you up into the main roster must have saw something in you, was thought, wow, this guy will make it big on whatever show he will debut on, and it happened on Monday Night Raw. I think it wasn't it around the summertime when you actually debuted in WWE, like July or August, was it?
I believe it was
maybe early.
Maybe April or May.
April, okay.
It might have been early May or late April.
Got you. Because the reason why I remember it was summertime, because it was quite hot at the time over here when you debuted. So apologies for that. But yeah, it was quite cool, and I bet you were quite nervous because you were in front of a bigger crowd and on national TV, which you didn't really get to experience in OVW, because you were in a smaller crowd. You may have had maybe even had a small TV deal. I know OVW may have been shown on local TV in that area, but nothing as big as global TV, I bet.
Yeah, but I wasn't nervous. I mean, it was the same song and dance. I was doing the same moves and still having a good time. It was, the nervousness was being around Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
I felt nervous around him, but he really didn't do anything to make me feel nervous. It was just the aura of Vince McMahon.
And the stories you probably heard all about when you were getting ready to make that important impression to Vince McMahon, I'm sure. How long did it take you before you actually got to meet him? Did you get to meet him before you debuted or sometime afterwards?
Yeah, I'd met him a couple years before I actually debuted, because I was doing some extra work, and we would come up and wrestle dark matches and whatnot. So I'd met him a couple of times, but I didn't really have a relationship with him until I started on TV. Then I was working with him every Monday.
But yeah, that makes sense. And of course, and then I think it was, now this I do not remember. I don't know why, but you got drafted in around 2007 to SmackDown. I do not remember you on SmackDown at all. I did watch SmackDown, but I don't remember seeing you on there. You were only on there for about a split minute, weren't you, or so, before you were, ended your career there, and then you went off doing your own thing, and then you did. I remember when you did came back to WWE. I remember that when you faced, it was The Miz, wasn't it, on WWE TV for a contract, which
yes.
Of course The Miz won. I wasn't very happy about that. I wanted you to win.
Me either.
Because you were under a mask. Nobody really knew who you were, did they, until after the match?
No. Miz was under the mask.
That's right. The Miz was under the mask. That's right, yeah. But I wanted you
Calgary.
to win.
He was the Calgary Kid.
That was it, yeah, because you were in Canada, weren't you?
Yeah, Calgary, Canada.
Yeah. And I was thinking this Calgary Kid guy I wasn't really a big fan of. I wanted to see Eugene back, because I missed your presence on War TV, and I wanted to see you back more time, and it didn't really care that way. But what made you to, after being coming back to WTV, then getting signed to be a trainer for NXT for about a year or so, then what made you to actually open up your own wrestling company, and in all places, why South Dakota?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to eventually have a small wrestling territory and a training center, because Nightmare Danny Davis, who ran OVW, was like, a mentor of mine. And I saw what he did with OVW, and I thought, I could do this also.
Yeah.
My wife is from Sioux Falls. I met her when I was on the road with WWE. William Regal and I had a media day, and she was on local TV here, so we did a little commercial spot on her local television show, and I just, just fell in love with this woman, and she moved to Phoenix with me. We lived in Indiana. We lived in Orlando when I was a coach, and she wanted to move back home. And I said, is there any independent pro wrestling in South Dakota? And she said no. And I said, there has to be, but there wasn't.
Wow.
There's zero independent wrestling here. So we brought professional wrestling to the Midwest, to South Dakota.
Nice. Well, I'm very surprised to learn that, because I always thought there's always a wrestling promotion in every state of America. It doesn't matter,
right.
It doesn't matter where you live.
I've wrestled for most of them.
Yeah. But I'm very surprised to learn that as well. So you're like the only wrestling promotion in South Dakota, unless you've inspired other promoters now to open up their own companies nearby you.
There's one in Omaha, which is about 3 hours drive south. There's several in Minneapolis, which is about 4 hours drive east.
Yeah.
But we were the only one in Sioux Falls and in South Dakota, so it's a good deal.
It is, but you've done a phenomenal job there at Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Is that right? I hope I pronounced that right.
All Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. I watch you guys on YouTube. They're on YouTube, by the way. You can check out all the matches on YouTube.com. They upload classic matches and most up-to-date matches as well. You've done a phenomenal job. You're bringing some of your great friends as well to come and wrestle against your talent you're making as well, which is very cool to see. Do they get a bit excited when they get to know that there's another legend coming to town?
Oh, absolutely. I reached out to all my friends, so they could come in. The first WWE superstar that I brought in was Carlito. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually coming again for us in July.
Oh, cool.
But we brought in the Honky Tonk Man. We brought in Tommy Dreamer. We brought in X-Pac. We brought in Chris Masters. We brought in the Boogeyman.
Yep, I know that one.
Bunch of them.
That's good to see. I'm glad to see you made good friendships along the way and able to bring them into your promotions. And I hope that you get to. I'm going to say you probably have, but if you haven't, and I hope they do invite you to come to maybe, because I know Carlito has some influence in a company in Puerto Rico, I think. So it'd be nice to see you down there. Be nice to see you down there. We can know different fan base, bit more violent down there, aren't they, in Puerto Rico?
I've wrestled down there a couple times for WWC.
Yeah.
World Wrestling Council is the company that Carlito's father helps own and run.
Yep, indeed. Glad to see you down there. We do have a question coming for you, though, from one of my YouTubers, people who subscribe to this channel. He wants to know, for later, if you could change the past, what gimmick would you have wanted to work for in WWE, or would you not change anything? Great question, I think.
Well, a couple years before Eugene debuted, I was actually Doink the Clown 2 times.
That's right. I remember that.
And I think Doink the Clown should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's a timeless character that is instantly recognized by the fans, instantly over, brings smiles to faces. This is a character, and everybody that played this character for WWE should be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that would include me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Eugene. And I think we should start a petition for not just for Donkey the Clown, who have played him throughout the careers who have played him, and it's for you, because I think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for your influence and for your impact you made in WWE in the early 2000s, because I was quite surprised in 2018 when they had this War Legends night. I would expect to see you a part of that, but because I thought you were a legend, because you were there, some of the biggest moments, but you weren't there. So maybe one day they might invite you into another War Legends night.
If enough of the WWE fans make enough of a ruckus, we can get Doink the Clown in the Hall of Fame, and we can get Eugene on a Legends Night, or maybe even in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that'd be a great pop if you came into a surprise appearance into a Royal Rumble match. Is that a teaser we could see maybe one day?
Well, my lawyer told me that I can neither confirm nor deny that I've been in contract negotiations to get into the Royal Rumble.
Okay. I don't blame you there. So you mentioned about your company, and do you plan on taking it on the road? Do you plan on just keeping it in South Dakota, or are you going to plan to maybe go to other towns nearby where you live?
No, we've toured around the Midwest, South Dakota. We've been to the far side of the state, to Rapid City. We've been to in Minnesota, which is right on the east of us. We've been north to Sisseton. We have a show planned for Sioux City, Iowa coming up. And what I really want to do is have the territory. I want to have towns that we come to regularly, and either a television product, or I don't know if it's still the medium that still works, or a online television product that advertises we're coming to Aberdeen, we're coming to Pierre, we're traveling, we're coming to Vermilion. So yeah, I want to tour and have a territory.
Nice, that's great. I do hope you get to get that dream for you, because it'd be great to see that happen. And
I mean, we're pretty much doing it now. It's just I want more.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think the saying is, not less but more, or something like that. There's a saying, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I know, wrestling has changed over the past 20 years, hasn't it? It's just gotten faster, more insane with the moves people do. Do you like that, or do you think that we should maybe you enjoyed the wrestling from when you were in your prime in WWE?
Well, the fact of the matter is, we have to entertain the people that are in the building. Mm-hmm. On television, it's a little bit different, because if there's not a whole lot of action, sometimes people will change the channel.
Yeah.
And I think this movement of fast wrestling started during the Monday Night Wars, because they were afraid people were going to switch over to WCW. Mm-hmm. But if the in-house crowd is not entertained, then you're not doing your job.
That is very true, because again, it was more edgier content, and it's surprising how something you could get away with back then, you can't get away with it nowadays, which I find very sad and quite upset about, because it's like I don't see what's really changed. I can see something's changed, but mostly within the actual wrestling section, I don't really see much of change since the last 20 years, which they can't reuse again, more modernized way.
Yeah, I mean. WWE has taken it so far. The only thing to do is circle back and restart and start where it all began, and having wrestling matches that are fought over some prize, whether it's pride or money or a title.
Yeah, I agree there with you. What are your thoughts on this the new competition and with AEW? Do you think maybe one day we could see another war between Raw and AEW or something like that? We did see kind of a war between NXT and AEW, but it wasn't really a war because it wasn't really competition. They were just on the same night and the same time slot, but people call it a war. But what are your thoughts on AEW? Would you be open to appearing for them if they would ask you, or if you already been asked?
I've not been asked, but I did. I was on Chris Jericho's podcast.
Yes, he was.
I have a good relationship with Chris. I like AEW, and I love the fact that there's another company that people can go to wrestle. I mean, competition's always good, but it's good for the wrestlers, because if WWE isn't using somebody, and let's face it, they have a whole lot of guys under contract on their roster. They can switch over to AEW, or still, TNA still out there. So. I mean, it's always good to have, somewhere to go.
It is, and because you mentioned TNA, Impact Wrestling, and AEW are all on national TV as well, and shown globally. Maybe not in as many markets as WWE, but it's still better exposure. Gives them some more airtime, puts something else on their resume as well. So like you as well, because you've I think haven't you appeared for Impact Wrestling maybe?
I wrestled a dark match one time for Impact, but I was never I was also on their television, but back when they were doing the Aces and Eights, I was under a mask or something, and we were beating up somebody. So I mean, I did a segment on TV, but Eugene or Nick Dinsmore was never on their TV.
Got you. That's fair. But yeah, I did love the Aces and Eights. I thought they did a cracking job with that when that was around back in about almost 10 years ago, I think, when that debuted, I think. Somewhere around there with Bully Way and Devon there. Biker Gang, loved that. So with your company, then, do you have like a structure? Do you have like a goal you want to reach every year or every week, or depending how many matches or shows you do per month, or you pretty much like we just do it on the fly, or see where this happens or see where this goes?
Well, we've been running monthly shows in Sioux Falls for over 5 years now. We just moved into a new training center in which we're also going to have live wrestling.
Oh, nice.
So it's not. I mean, I have goals, but there's nothing really that I can pinpoint. I want to get more students. I probably have 30 students now, and they make up the roster of Midwest All Pro Wrestling. And I want to see each one of them develop and become better and carve out little characters for themselves. I would love to have somebody have a tryout with WWE and get hired.
Yeah.
That's really what I want.
That's good. That's good. I do hope it happens for you. So, because I want to know as well, like, who would you say maybe might be a breakout star or stars this year, or in the next few months in your company?
Well, there's a whole lot of guys. I mean, I've got a guy named Brandon Nitro that's fantastic. I've got a guy named Moneymate Julian Richards that's fantastic. I've got a tag team named The New Beginning. I've got a tag team named Top Notch Entertainment. I mean, I've got a whole crew of guys that are really coming into their own, finding out who their characters are, and improving in the ring.
Yeah, I agree. Some great stars. A great free plug for them, and I do wish them the best. And maybe even if they don't get signed by WWE, maybe AEW might be a place, or Impact Wrestling might be a place for them to get their start, and then eventually make their way up to the World Wrestling Entertainment. We have to see, but hopefully they will get their shot, and deservedly so. Hopefully, go on.
No, I think COVID has really hindered that.
Yeah, I was going to mention about that.
WWE really wasn't doing many tryouts or touring, so I think now that things are getting a little bit better, I think they'll start touring, and they do TV here from Sioux Falls every now and then. So I'm hoping to get some guys in there to get looked at.
Yeah. Hopefully so. We're going to know. I think they're thinking about June or July or August, aren't they, now, to get back on the road, is what I've been hearing. Again, don't quote me on those because, again, I'm not the source to be believed, because I don't have any sources, just for your knowledge. But speaking about COVID, because I bet that kind of affected your company, the way you were working, the way you were training guys and such. Did you have to go like a video way, like a video conference way to speak with guys or train them, like over a video call, or were you able to carry on in-person classes, or did you phase that back in later on?
Well, when COVID first hit, Sioux Falls shut down, or the live entertainment in Sioux Falls was shut down for about 2.5 months. Okay. And our training slowed down a little bit, but then eventually I would have guys come in and we would wear our masks, and I'd only have like a small amount of guys, smaller classes. But we live in a very Republican state, and there's not a whole lot of population in South Dakota. So it's not the same as other big cities where people are packed together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, our state was open for business, and, wrestling attendance suffered, but this past March, it just exploded, and we're now starting to draw all kinds of people.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see that. From a year ago, you probably got maybe the lowest ratings or lowest amount of people you got to attend ever, to now a year later, somewhat even better than ever. With your
record-breaking crowd.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I'm glad that I'm glad that your company is back and able to continue. And it's quite a good area than where you've opened up there. Not many people around, not a big city, which is quite good. It means you're able to continue as some sort of normal now. So it's great to see. I did see your show the other week on YouTube, of course, and I really enjoyed it. I see that I think it was a segment after the match where you put a cake in the ref's face to celebrate his birthday. I bet that was
yes,
quite funny for you guys, but I don't think he was expecting what was going to happen.
I don't know. Anytime there's a cake inside a wrestling ring, somebody's got to know what's going to happen. But yeah, it was young referee Ethan Iglesias' birthday, and I really liked the kid, so I put a cake in his face.
Yeah, well deserved, by the way. But I do, because you also do commentary as well for the company, don't you? And I really do like your commentary. It's just very, very. What's the word? To me, it's unscripted. To me, you probably have it scripted, but to me, to the viewer, it looks to be unscripted. I don't know what you're gonna say next, but you have great chemistry on commentary. Is that something you're interested in doing? If someone contacts saying, "Hey, do you want to do this special match?" or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but I enjoy doing it for our company because I can really tell the story of what's going on in the ring.
Yeah.
I'll give the guys direction as an agent, and then they go out and perform it, and then I can specifically say, he did this for this reason, or, he's trying to do this, and it's something I enjoy, and I would love to do it, but I'm going to probably transition more into doing commentary for Midwest All Pro Wrestling.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're staying on commentary. I didn't know if it was just for a split minute while you're looking for somebody to join your company to be a color commentator or whatnot, but I'm glad you're going to stick with it because I could tell it was your voice instantly. So you got one of them.
Like, I love doing it, but also at the shows, I'm usually the one taking tickets. Sometimes I'm the one selling the merchandise.
Oh, right.
Sometimes I'm the one doing the music. Plus I'm agenting matches. So I'm running around doing all kinds of things and then still trying to concentrate on doing a little bit of commentary. And I wrestle every now and then also.
Yes, you do. You do wrestle. You have some great matches when you do wrestle every now and then. It's a great surprise as well. But I mean, you're a busy man. But on the videos, it doesn't look like you're very busy, You don't. I don't think you screw up any commentary calls or anything to do with any of the stories you're trying to get across to the audience, or maybe new. So you're doing a very good job, and I wish you guys the very best of success. And hopefully one day I can go out to South Dakota and see your show in person.
Absolutely, it's the Mount Rushmore state. Mount Rushmore's here. Crazy Horse is here. If there was a Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, who would you have on it?
Well, you're asking me, are you? Okay, well.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good. Can I just say anybody's name? Not from anywhere.
You can say whoever you want. It's your Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously I'll go with Eddie Guerrero because I think he, I did like his style, and he's very missed. I think. I will have to say yourself because you're here, so I'll say you as well because you were quite a good character, a very funny character. Let me have a look. Probably The Undertaker and the Monster Abyss and the Boogeyman.
There's only four. There's only four. You got four.
Okay, I got four. There we go. That's my four then. I take those.
I feel like it should be Rock, Hogan, and Cena, and then I think Vince McMahon is our George Washington.
Fair. I can see.
There's another monument not far from Mount Rushmore called Crazy Horse, and I think The Rock would be Crazy Horse.
I can see why. We have another question coming for you. They want to know what is the most important thing for newer wrestlers to know, and what is your favorite lesson to teach?
Important lesson to know. That we are having the match for the fans. A lot of guys want to have a match doing stuff that they think's cool. And if the fans don't think it's cool, it's not going to be a good match.
Yeah.
So I ingrain with the people to go out there and relax and listen. I liken it to a stand-up comedian. If he's telling jokes to a crowd and they're not laughing, he has to be good enough to find out what these people want to hear and tailor his jokes to the crowd at hand.
Okay.
And what was the second part?
Oh, the second part is, what is your favorite lesson to teach?
I mean, like all of them, just the entire business. I like seeing the light bulb come on when somebody does something and maybe they mess it up, and then they realize, okay, now I understand. Now I get it. And then they become a better performer.
Yeah, because they get the advice, they get the critique, they go away, they improve, maybe review tapes or whatnot, and then you see a whole different side of them next week or so. How long did it take then in your particular company and for somebody to make it onto the actual show then? Is it a quick process, or did it take between maybe 6 to 4 months maybe?
I mean, every performer is different. Everybody has a different skill set. I had my first show in November of 2015, and I had to use a lot of performers that were out of Omaha to fill out my card.
Oh, yeah.
from my first show, November 2015, I got 2 students. So from November to February, I worked with these 2 guys almost every day, and they had their first match in February. On that show, I got 6 students. So then it just kept building and building, and I don't want to put anybody out there when they're not ready.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes I'll generally put somebody in first as a referee, you know, just to get in the ring and feel it. And then we've got a couple masked characters. I'll put somebody in the masked character to then let them have a match, and if they mess up, it's okay. So by the time they go to debut, whatever character they want to be, they have a little bit of experience behind them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And of course, if they do mess up, nobody in the crowd would know who they are. You know what I mean? They can't say, oh, it's that guy again, you know, kind of thing, when you actually debut as somebody else, you know, kind of thing. So that's a great method, a great way to do so. There's more of Nick Dinsmore in just a moment. Just let you know that next week here on the show, we got Umar Sadiq, he's a boxer. We then got Web Theory, if you know that band. They did the theme tune for WrestleMania 24. And Randy Orton's The Voices. Matt Mikowski will be joining the show from Web Theory next Friday. And then a week on Friday after that, we have White Said Fred, who did that famous song, I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt. If you know that one, they're coming on my show in about 2 weeks' time on a Friday. Got a busy Friday coming up here on the next 2 weeks, so I hope you can join for those. But back with Eugene, you see on your screen there. He's here all for the next few minutes or so, for the next 20 minutes or so, I think. So, you know, what are some of your favourite moments then? Because I know as well, I sort of said that you've also appeared in WCW for about a split minute as well, didn't you? Was that in 1999 as well?
It was. I did a couple matches in 98 and then a couple matches in 99.
Oh, okay. What did you take away from those then? From those matches, from those dark matches you did then?
Well, it all stems back to the very first Brian Pillman Memorial Show.
That's right, because Terry Taylor scouted you. He was there, wasn't he? He saw something in you.
He saw me there, and he goes, you know, I want to bring you into WCW. So it was like, I was just happy to be there. I was so excited. It was a learning experience. I got to meet all kinds of people, and I just went, you know, and did my job as best I could. What I didn't realize at a certain point is Terry Taylor got released from WCW. He then got hired by WWE in talent relation, or not to, I can't remember what his title was, but then he hired me to be a developmental talent in WWE. So I had made a friend out of Terry Taylor, and then when I was a coach, I got to coach alongside of him. Wow. So it was like full circle. Yeah,
full circle indeed. Well, that's a great story. I'm glad that you're able, you know, to bring you with him, kind of thing. That's great. That's great. I mean, obviously, he must have saw something in you and must have thought, this kid's got something here. I want to bring him in, you know, wherever he was going to be. You know, it's a great story. So what have you got then lined up over the next few months? Are you doing anything outside of your company, or are you just wrestling and sort of for your company only, or you got other schedules coming up?
I mean, I still tour independents as Eugene. I've got a big weekend coming up in New Jersey and New York next weekend, but I'm mainly concentrating on getting Midwest All Pro more shows. I love doing the YouTube page.
Yeah.
And then I also have my own YouTube page, the Nick Dinsmore YouTube channel, where I did a I don't want to call it stand-up comedy because I'm not ready for stand-up, so it was a sit-down comedy show.
Got ya.
And I've been posting that.
Nice. And of course, we should say as well, he is also on Twitter at Eugene Dinsmore with a G. And he's also on Instagram. You do on Instagram. People do tag you at Chris Jericho and Chris Van Vliet. That's why I've included it, even though it's a private account. So, you know, I wasn't sure, but I'm going to say it. Nick Dinsmore. He may accept your follow request on Instagram, but you can mainly follow him on Twitter, though. I couldn't find a Facebook page for you, so I would have included it, but I couldn't find one.
I'm most active. Eugene is most active on Twitter. I do have an Instagram account, but I just, at that point, I couldn't update another social media account, so I have it, but I don't really post on it a lot because I'm posting, you know, Eugene's YouTube channel, Eugene's Twitter account, but then also Midwest All Pro has a Facebook, has a Twitter, and has YouTube. They also have Instagram, but again, I don't put a lot of stuff on there because it's just it becomes too much. It becomes full-time job just doing social
Yeah,
media.
I get you there. I also think it's a bit too much. There's too many platforms nowadays to promote and plug yourself and try and build your brand or whatnot. I think it doesn't need to be simple. Maybe just one social media might be enough. But I mean, you got like 16, I think, of them now, isn't there? There's so many there. But I'm glad you're able to plug as well your company, because we're going to do that anyway. And anything else you would like to plug, feel free to. I think do you have a Pro Wrestling Tees store as well? Or am I just spitting out false information now?
I haven't put a T-shirt on there. I don't know if they have a Eugene T-shirt. I don't believe so. But I have my merchandise on the Midwest All Pro website, which is midwestallpro.com.
Great. There we go. So, I mean, if you want to buy some Eugene merch, is that shirt you're wearing right now in the headband? Is that available on the website?
I'm ordering more. You can order them, but they're on back order right now.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
They sold out, man. It was a big seller.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you get some more in store. Do you sell anything else on there? Maybe mugs or jumpers of Eugene merch, or just T-shirts and headbands at the moment?
T-shirts and 8x10s, as well as Midwest All Pro T-shirts and 8x10s and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. So what has been some of your favorite moments then on the road with some of your friends you've been able to connect with and to maintain over all these years?
Well, when I debuted on WWE, I had met William Regal.
That's right, from Blackpool, only about an hour away from here.
Yeah, I knew him, but I really didn't have a really good relationship with him. But another one of my mentors was the Hustler Rip Rogers. And Rip became very good friends with Regal when they were in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a connection there. So then I started riding with Regal whenever we would tour, and then Tajiri jumped in with us. So it was like Barnum and Bailey Circus on wheels. I mean, we had so much fun, so many laughs. I mean, it was awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I remember Tajiri. Yes, the Green Mist.
Yes.
Oh, never forget when he did that on Jonathan Coachman. That was hilarious. I think that's the best reaction I think I saw from when he did the Mist. But I do, when he did leave, it was quite sad because I used to tune in just every Monday just to see who was going to put the Green Mist on next, kind of thing. I think he may have got you once, because I remember I think you in that white jacket had some green paint on it at one point. That might not have been from Tajiri. It might be from the Spirit Squad or something.
Yeah, it wasn't the Mist.
Okay.
I laughed at Vince McMahon after he got his head shaved by Donald Trump. And then he beat me up. He put my head in a toilet, and they poured a bucket of green paint on me.
That's right.
Because Vince and Shane were in the angle with DX at the time, and Spirit Squad was kind of intertwined in there.
That's right. I know, but yeah, oh, right. I felt sorry for you when I saw that, when you're picking on you, everyone picked on you.
So listen to this, right? They pour the green paint on my head, maybe in the first or second segment of Raw. Yeah. Then I had to wrestle in the last match, which was a good hour and a half later. And that paint dried, and it stained my hair when I used to have the long hair. And it was I had green hair in certain spots for months.
Oh, no, that's not good, is it? Is that why you cut your hair to make it short? It means you, in case it happens ever again, that it's easier to get out, or?
Well, Vince and Umaga had shaved my head once on Raw.
Right.
But then I started to let it grow back. But a couple years ago, I donated it to the one of the cancer kids with cancer hair gimmicks.
Yeah, well, that's quite good. That's quite good to give them some hair and to donate some great funds to help them out and find a cure, because that's what we need, isn't it? Really, find a cure for children's cancer. It's not very good, for children to have that dreadful disease. Even at younger or any age, really. So hopefully, at some day, we will get to that point where all cancers are defeated, which would be quite good. So are you involved with any other projects and outside of pro wrestling, or are you just pretty much very busy with wrestling and being involved with your company 24/7?
No, I'm very busy, with Midwest All Pro and then booking Eugene on the independents. But like I said, I did I called it Eugene's first comedy sit-down show.
That's right.
And I want to maybe try to keep working that. And then possibly be able to do that. Maybe if I wrestle somewhere, and then later in the night we could do some sort of comedy. Like I said, I don't want to call it stand up because I don't want to call myself a stand up comic because I don't think I'm that good. I'm making my way there. I'm just a sit down comic right now.
But someday, some stage, you'll be able to say I am a stand up comedian, and I can't wait for that day when you can say that publicly and you feel confident enough to say you are. Because it'd be very cool to see you as a stand-up comedian.
Well, see, the thing is Eugene borrowed moves from his favorite wrestlers.
Yes, that's right.
So on stage, I might borrow some jokes from some of my favorite comedians, but I will say that that's not necessarily my joke, but it's still funny.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was going to say then about because you're following in the footsteps of like Nick. AKA Dolph Ziggler, because he also does stand-up comedian as well, doesn't he? So maybe in the future we could see maybe a double act on stage between you and Nick in the future, if you guys are kept in touch or know each other, still, with texting and whatnot. We kept his number and stuff, because I know you guys were there around the same time as you said the Spirits Club was there when he was called Nicky, Mikey, and everyone else.
Well, when Mick Foley was on tour doing stand-up comedy, he came to Louisville and he messaged me and said, "Hey, if you want to stop by," and he does this, I think, in a lot of towns where talent lives, and they bring him up on stage. "What are you doing now?" And in Louisville, I got up on stage and he handed me the mic. So then I told about a 5-minute long story and it got over.
Oh, that's good.
So then when he came to Orlando, when we lived in Orlando, the same thing. I went up there and I got a good reaction. So
that's good.
Mick was very generous.
Yeah, he is very generous. He comes across like it on TV, and it intermines the audience, in the who are there with him there and also on TV. Because it comes across like he is a genuine person on and off screen, and it's he does seem so. On his Twitter account, on his, when he does his stand-up comedian and such like that. So it's quite nice of him to reach out to talent and say, "Hey, are you free this weekend? Do you want to be on part of my trip or whatnot?" He's quite a nice guy. Will you be featuring maybe if they do a second season in that new show they got on A&E with WWE, where they go around going around storage lockers and looking at historic things? I'm not seeing it myself because it's not actually over here yet. I can't really give you a better description, but hopefully you know what I'm on about.
I have not seen it, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen the advertisements, and I would love to be a part of anything like that wrestling fans want to watch.
Yeah, cause and even not just for wrestling fans, just even non-wrestling fans. Could be like the the Dark Side of the Ring. Many they get very good ratings on there because they bring in lots of non-wrestling viewers to them stories, even though there might not be very good stories out there, but we get to the truth of some things to do with certain people. Have you ever been asked to take part in any of them?
Not yet. It's I think it's still a new product that they're probably fleshing out, what works and what doesn't work and exactly what direction they want to go in.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think, to my knowledge, again, you were there, you can say, there was some bad stuff going on when you were there, but it didn't really seem like a lot of bad stuff was going on when you were there at the time. So, we'll have to see if we ever see you on a show of theirs in the future.
Well, are you talking about the Dark Side of the Ring?
To me, when you were in WWE, I didn't feel like there was anything dark about the people around when you were there, kind of thing. And
I mean, not really dark, but I was there when Eddie passed away.
Right.
I was there when the Benoit incident happened. So I mean, I was around when those incidents happened.
Yeah, I was very sad when they did the Royal tribute for Eddie and Chris Benoit. Of course, when we didn't know the whole story about Chris Benoit, but for the Eddie Guerrero section, yes, it was very sad. It was very touching tribute because everyone was shocked, and you could see it on the faces of the wrestlers around them and the fans. It was an awful thing happened.
I remember on that event. Everybody, the crowd was crying, all the wrestlers were crying, and myself and Simon Dean went out and we did some comedy, and it was like all of a sudden people just laughed, and then it was kind of a release. Like, this was horrible, but we're entertaining and we're going to remember this great performer, but life goes on.
It does, and it's a great, again, you say about, remembering a great performer, and hopefully maybe he was laughing along, wherever he may be, which is great to see. Now then, is there anything else that I might not have mentioned, which you may want to mention here tonight?
I don't think so, man. I would love to get back to the UK. I love it over there. I've had several great trips and met all kinds of great people.
Who's been one of your craziest people you've met over in the UK on the independent scene? Because I think you've met Grado, haven't you? The Scottish wrestler.
I was just getting ready to say I had 4 poles, and on each pole there was, you guys call it a bum bag, we call it a fanny pack.
Yeah.
A bum bag on a pole match, and inside the bum bag was a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Grado against I, and the son of a gun beat me. So I'm looking for a rematch against Grado in England. A bum bag on 4 bum bags on 4 poles match.
Yeah, I do hope you get your revenge on Grado, because he's done a lot of stuff now outside of wrestling. Now he's a part-time actor. He's got his own radio show. He's doing big things in Scotland nowadays. So all credit to him.
So here's one story. Cool. He came to Orlando. I think he was when he was working for TNA, and we took him to the beach in Clearwater, my wife and I, and we went into the Hulk Hogan beach shop. And the guy that was working said, "Hey, I think Hulk's going to be here about 3:00. All right, so we go to the beach. We have a good time. We come back. It was just about 3:00, and we park right in front of it. And my wife was like, "Well, if we're going to take a picture, I got to put on just a little bit of makeup." So she's putting on makeup. We got a 2-door Jeep. Grado's in the back. Like, he wants to meet Hogan so bad. He looks like like a dog just wanting to get out. and it took about 5 minutes for her to put on a little bit of makeup. And we get out and we walk in, and the guy working goes, "You just missed him by 5 minutes."
Ah, what a shame.
Grado was crushed.
I bet you was, because you've met him loads of times, and he might be one of his idols. I bet from when he watched it on TV. So it's quite sad. But
I mean, look at the shirt, right?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, yellow and red. There you go. In the traditional colours of Hulkamania. Running wild.
What you do, brother?
There you go. You do a very good impression, by the way, of Hulk Hogan. I have to say, who would you suggest or help me maybe to bring on this show after you?
I mean, I've got some close friends, but probably one of my closest friends in the business is Rob Conway, who was one half of La Resistance. He might be one because he was, at the time I was there, he was actually Eugene's first match. So I mean, we worked very well together.
It's a shame. It was a shame they didn't really give him a chance, on in WWE, to get over as much as other talent like yourself. So yeah, it'd be great conversation with him, for sure. But yeah, it's great to have you on the show, and we hope we wish you and your company the very best of luck for the rest of 2021. We hope you keep smashing the sold out crowds. We hope we hope to see you put more cakes in people's faces as well over the next months, and perhaps I might be using you for a project. You never know, because I came across, using the Google, some contact details for the Boogeyman, but I don't know if there is his real contact details, kind of thing. So perhaps before you go off, I could share them with you off camera to see if they are correct or not, or if they're not, then maybe you could get me in contact, because there is something I want to say to you off the air. But from all of us here from the Fowler Show, if you enjoyed tonight's episode, give it a like, share it to all your friends, tell them that Eugene Nick Dinsmore was here on the show, the best kept secret on YouTube. Make sure if you're new around here to subscribe to my show with the notification on, because you always know about when I go live. You can see some action figures there of himself and Donkey the Clown. And make sure you like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. My links are now on the screen for you there. They're also on my YouTube channel as well. And until the next episode drops, enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.